Hey guys, welcome into today's video. College basketball is right around the corner, and it's time to preview and meet your 2022-23 USC basketball team. My Cal game preview will be out tomorrow, so if you're interested in that, please check it out. But having said that, let's dive into this preview. Now, the first thing worth noting is that this team is going to be very different from the USC teams we have seen in the last couple years. A few days ago, senior team captain Drew Peterson discussed how this year's team differs from teams of the past.
It's great. We got a lot of talent again, and a little bit of a change of pace regarding how we're going to play. Usually we're known for playing through our bigs and kind of our notable NBA big guys over the past few years, and now a little bit smaller and a little bit faster. So we got more guard-oriented team, and we're going to be pushing the pace a little bit more. So it's going to be a fun little mix-up for us. I think it's kind of coming with the change in overall the culture of basketball, how the NBA is being played. A little more positionless, and I think it benefits me where depending on who's guarding me, I could either take a bigger guy out to the perimeter or a smaller guy into the post. So I'll be playing anywhere from the 1 to the 4, and it'll be a lot of fun with being able to stretch the floor and really having potentially 5 guys on a court that can shoot all at the same time, which is a little bit different than the past few years here.
This team can really shoot.
So this USC team is getting a much needed change in philosophy. Last year, USC ranked 235th in the nation in total three-point attempts. With the infusion of shooting ability that came into the program this offseason, I would expect that ranking to go way up this season. Now, like you heard Drew talk about there, this team isn't going to run through their bigs. There's no Onyeka Okongwu on this team. There's no Evan Mobley on this team. This is going to be a fast-paced run-and-gun offense that will likely have 4 guards in the starting lineup. It is kind of strange going from these big jumbo lineups that we've been running for the last few years, then going to small ball, but this team is built for it, and I think it's going to be very fun to watch as well. Now let's dive in and meet some of these players, and we're going to start with the most important player on this USC team. You heard from him earlier, it's Drew Peterson. When Drew announced he was coming back for another year at SC, I was thrilled. He has such a diverse skill set, he can truly play the 1 through the 4, and with the lack of having a true point guard on this roster, I think that's where he will be playing most of the time. I like Boogie Ellis a lot, but in my opinion, he doesn't have the decision-making skills to be a point guard. Having a 6'9" guard like Drew that can shoot the 3, drive the lane, or play down in the post is a huge asset for this Trojan team. Spacing has been a real big issue for USC teams of the last few years, but this year the spacing should actually be fantastic, and Drew is a really big part of that. If we can get the Drew Peterson that played against UCLA last year more consistently, this team is going to be in very good shape. Another key player for this USC team is going to be the aforementioned senior guard, Boogie Ellis. Boogie is a highly skilled and very explosive guard, and he looks to take a big step forward after an exciting but up and down 2021 season. This man is a walking bucket. When he's on, he can really fill it up, and when he's making good decisions, he's also a great passer. We just need to see that more consistently and reduce some of those late game turnovers. Another player I'm very excited to see is sophomore guard Kobe Johnson. Kobe is poised for a breakthrough year, in my opinion. He's a tenacious defender. He's also a very good passer. He can also shoot the 3 ball, and that combination is a perfect fit for who's going to be out there on the floor with him. He also got named a team captain for 2022, which for a true sophomore is very impressive. He can really do it all, and the Trojans will need that versatility in their lineup this season. Sophomore guard Reese Dixon Waters is the player getting the most national hype in terms of having a potential breakout season. He really came on strong at the end of last season, averaging 10 points per game in the last 5 games of the season. He also put up 16 against Miami in the NCAA tournament. He's a lock to be in the starting lineup when the season starts, and his ability to put the ball in the basket will really help to take the load off of Boogie and Drew. Now, a player that is really going to need to step up and provide quality minutes for this team is redshirt junior big man Joshua Morgan. Depth at the center position is virtually non-existent this season, barring a return from Vincent Iwuchukwu, which we'll talk about more after a bit. Morgan is 6'11", 220 pounds, and he's your classic in the paint big. He'll need to be the driving force defensively for this team, and his rebounding and second chance points are really going to shape how dominant this offense can be. The rebounding and rim protection has been so good for these USC teams of the last few years, it's hard to put that all on his shoulders, but as the only big man in a starting lineup, he's going to have to take a really big step this season. With all of the jump shots this team is going to be taking, having a guy down low who can grab 2 to 4 offensive boards a game will be huge. Now, there is a common theme with this team that's really a bunch of guys who need to take steps in their game this year, and that's obviously no different for the freshman class. This was the number 7 ranked recruiting class in the 247 composite rankings, so a lot is expected of this group, but they definitely have the talent to deliver on that. There was only one 3-star in this class, but he's actually the player I'm most excited to watch this season. It's 6'5" guard Osiah Sellers. He's a pure sharpshooter who seems like he's poised for a big role off the bench. At Pac-12 Media Day, Andy Enfield talked about Sellers and had nothing but praise for the true freshman.
Osiah Sellers is an elite shooter that's 6'4". He's the best shooter in our program, one of the best shooters I've ever coached, and that includes the NBA as well.
Now, when you hear a coach talk like that about a true freshman, it really makes you think he could be special. And if there's one thing that these USC teams have lacked over the last few years, it's a dominant three-point shooter. Another freshman I'm really excited about is do-it-all guard Trey White. You need players who can do a little bit of everything coming off the bench, and Trey can do just that. He can grab boards, he can run the pick-and-roll game, he can slash, and he has a good mid-range game as well. As the season goes along, I would expect to see more and more from Trey. Four-star forward Kajani Wright looks to be a physical presence down low for the Trojans this year. At 6'9", 235, this team really needs him to bring that physicality and tenacity coming off the bench. He's a violent dunker who has all the tools to be an elite defender as well. Now, like I mentioned earlier, one player we likely won't be seeing this year is 5-star big man Vincent Iwuchukwu. If you didn't know, earlier in the year, he actually suffered cardiac arrest during a workout. Andy Enfield recently gave an update on how he's doing and expressed some optimism on his return this season.
Vincent Iwuchukwu is doing very well. He had the issue this summer, but he is healthy. He looks great. He's riding the bike about 45 minutes a day. Extremely energetic, a big part of our program. Our team shows up at every practice, and he's the cheerleader, and we're really happy for him.
Is he cleared to do anything yet, practice-wise?
He's not clear for practice. He's cleared to do minimal exercise, and his heart rate, we have to monitor his heart rate not to get it over a certain number, but he's doing very well.
And still optimistic that he could play this season at some point?
Yes, I think everybody's very hopeful, and especially Vince.
Now, it's great to hear that he's doing better and is still a part of the program. He's still so young, it's critical that they don't rush him coming back. But in terms of just basketball, losing him is brutal. You're talking about a 7'1" beast that could really help anchor this USC team down low. And again, I'm just glad he's doing well and healthy. Whenever he comes back, he will be a massive addition to the rotation. Make sure to let me know what players you're most excited to see down in the comments. Now, in terms of where this team is thought of nationally, they just missed out on the top 25, they're receiving votes, and the media picked USC to finish 4th in the Pac-12. Now, I would be okay with that. That's good enough to get a pretty good seed in the tournament, and with this team in general, I would definitely expect them to finish a lot better than they start. All the young guys need time to get used to the college game, and there's so many new players on this team, the chemistry is going to take some time to gel. In terms of what I think about this team, I do have USC in the top 25, in that 20 to 25 range, and I actually have USC finishing 3rd in the conference, behind UCLA and Arizona. The conference this year is going to be very competitive, there's a lot of good teams, but USC is very talented, and with the new play style, I really think the sky is the limit for this team. Alright guys, so that'll do it for this season preview. Make sure to let me know players you're excited about, season expectations, all of that down in the comments. You will be hearing from me again tomorrow when we preview the Cal Golden Bears coming to the Coliseum to take on USC. But until then, thank you all so much for listening. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Fight on!